Because people need to hear my gold as it rolls out, not as it's like disappearing like so many freaking, you know, magician's rabbits.
Since I did this Corey Feldman video the other day, a lot of people have been bringing up Charlie Sheen to me. So I've been looking into him and everything, and I haven't really found anything too incriminating except for the letter that Denise Richards wrote. It's already been talked about before, and like the crazy actions of his twins. So to save some time on this video, instead of reading this whole fucking letter, I'm going to give you the link, and I'm just going to bring up the most fucked up part, I guess. Well, maybe one of them. I don't know, there's a lot of fucked up shit, so I'd check it out if you haven't yet. I have a link in Google Drive where you can download the whole 17 pages yourself. Here it is right here. And I know it's a bunch of gibberish, so I will include this link in the description box below. Starting on page 11, line 27 is where it starts to get a little even more interesting. Page 11, line 27. I told him the girls were on a walk, and I asked if I could speak to him privately. Then we went into my office, which is close to the garage. I told him that I discovered some pornography websites that he belonged to, which I found very disturbing. Websites which promoted very young girls who looked underage to me with pigtails, braces, and no pubic hair, performing oral sex with each other. I also told him about other websites I discovered that he accessed involving gay pornography, also involving very young men who also did not look like adults. I also discovered that the respondent belonged to several sex search type sites, which he looked for women to have sex with. The picture he used for his profile was his erect penis. When I confronted the respondent with this information, he did not deny it. I told him that as a mother, I found this information very disturbing because we had 2 young daughters, and that I believed he had a serious problem which he needed to deal with, and that he should not be around our children. At that point, I asked him if he had taken an AIDS test. He said he did. I asked to see the results, and he told me to go fuck myself. I later had an AIDS test which he was upset about because the paparazzi found out about my taking this test and took pictures. The respondent blamed me rather than taking any responsibility for his actions. He told me that I was a prude and I was overreacting. He reiterated that there was nothing wrong with the sites that he was accessing and I needed to turn my head and ignore it. The respondent then told me to go fuck myself and turned around and stormed out of the house. I proceeded to follow him to his car. He opened the car door to get in but remained standing next to the car. I again tried to speak to him. I told him I was very concerned about his behavior. I told him if he continued his lifestyle, he would affect his relationship with the girls. He became very angry and told me that this was my last warning, and if I revealed anything about his lifestyle, you won't lay your head down at night. I understood this to mean that he would kill me. He then hit my right wrist with his arm and shoved me in the stomach area with both his hands and got in his car and left. And besides that, I think we can let Charlie speak for himself.
Charlie Sheen has been in news lately for all the wrong reasons, and now his ex-wife Denise Richards opens up on Oprah's show about Sheen and her marriage with the troubled star.
On Christmas morning in Aspen, Colorado, Charlie Sheen was arrested after his wife Brooke called 911 saying that he had threatened her with a knife. And when did you find out what happened?
I actually got a call on Christmas, a collect call from Charlie, and he said, I said...
Christmas Day?
Christmas Day, and asked, I thought it was odd that he was calling collect. He said, yeah, they won't let me use my cell phone here. He said, I'm in jail. And so I said, my first thing was, are you okay? And he said, yeah, I'm okay. And he, you know, told me that he and Brooke had gotten into a fight, and she called the cops. He couldn't get into it because he said they were recording our conversation.
Built by trolls. Keep that in mind. Phones were built by trolls.
Well, in divorce documents, as I recall, you alleged that he had threatened you at one point also. And at the time, you said that you were filing because you could no longer accept his abusive and threatening manner. So
I forwarded you exactly how she spelled it. If she doesn't know how to spell her own name, then she loses. Oops. Bye-bye.
Charlie Sheen went on another epic rant, and he has wished death on yet another person. This time, it's not his ex-wife, it's his ex-goddesses. The outspoken actor has hit out at porn stars Jamie Langford and Jana Jordan for trying to rack up huge bills on his credit cards. Charlie has wished death on the two after claiming they tried to scam him out of money. He released a statement to TMZ saying, quote, "With violent hatred, I hope you two charlatans fatally choke on a Vaughn's can of pressed turkey. It's sheeniously poetic that on a day rooted in the celebration of gratitude, I can dance joyously on the graves of your napalm-charred corpses as I revel in the absolute and perfect reality of your swift and perfect disposal."
I'm a big fan of accountability and skill sets, none of which are we will see on the 20th.
Totally.
None of which.
You're not going to the inauguration?
Like, neither of which.
Right.
We will observe on the 20th.
Well, she got a bit of, criticism for that speech. I mean, what
Criticized by who?
A lot of people. I don't know, Twitter.
Bunch of drooling douchebags.
Do you know Charlie Sheen?
I do know Charlie Sheen. I do.
What's going on there?
Well, I really got to know him fairly well. He was in Palm Beach, Florida. He met at the Mar-a-Lago Club. The parents of Brooke are members of my club, and they were all excited.
Brooke is his ex-wife?
Yes, the one that they're fighting with the children and everything else, and they had twins.
Do you think that Meryl Streep should just let it go now that Donald Trump is in and everybody should just help him move forward?
Oh, hell no. Hold on.
Oh.
I will say this. I'm a little bit impressed with him, as I'm sure you are. It's not like a total. We've seen worse. Have we seen worse?
I've not seen worse.
Really? I have.
We look forward to an impeachment.
Oh, there we go.
Hell yeah.
I'm here. I'm sorry, I'm right.
An impeachable crime.
An impeachable crime.
For all of the hurt that he is causing people, and I believe he is causing people a lot of hurt, and I know something about that. My behavior in my life, I've hurt people, and I feel horrible about it. But you kind of have to. I mean, he has an interesting turn of phrase, doesn't he?
He does.
That my fangs are dripping tiger blood.
Right. That's right.
Let me tell you this. If you own the home in which you own the trash can, you should never have to empty it ever, ever, ever again.
The first time you saw him, say, winning, what were you thinking?
Honestly, because I knew it was going on privately, it was hard for me to see him, publicly, for the public to see him spiraling.
Yeah. What did you say to him the first time you saw the public spiral?
I told him I would probably keep a lid on it and try to tone it down.
You can get home and, give me a big hug and avoid some eye contact.
It was like a train wreck, watching someone, go on that path. It was, at first people thought it was funny, and then they saw that the direction it was going, and it wasn't funny, and, it made me sad to see him, be in that situation and then lose his job, and, but more importantly, it was to see someone who, as an addict, to see him, spiraling publicly.
When was the last time you used?
I use a blender, I use a vacuum cleaner, I use household items. When was the last time I ingested or took drugs?
Yes, when was the last time you took drugs?
Such an AA stupid expression or term. I don't remember.
Now I'm smoking a cigarette and drinking something I won't reveal.
Tell me about the last time you took drugs.
The last time I took drugs, I probably took more than anybody could survive.
What are we talking about? How much?
I don't know, man. I was banging 7-gram rocks and finishing them because that's how I roll. I have one speed, I have one gear. Go.
You don't worry that you're going to die when you take that many drugs?
Dying's for fools.
Go ahead, you speak. I'll listen. Jesus crap.
For Charlie Sheen, this was the perfect place to raise his twin boys, inside his Los Angeles mansion with the two women he calls his goddesses.
We run errands, we eat, we play with the kids.
Do you ever worry about them and the things that you've been through and how it'll affect them?
I mean, I could worry about it, or I could say, hey, kids, your dad's a rock star.
The goddesses now live with Charlie. One is a former porn star, the other a model.
Do the goddesses help raise your kids? Are they with your kids? Do they love your children?
Yeah, if I can't be there, they're there, and it's like everybody helps out, and I don't know, it's just there's nothing broken here.
What makes you a good dad?
Everything. Next question.
Tuesday night, officers arrived at his home and removed his boys, Max and Bob, reportedly after Sheen's estranged wife, Brooke Mueller, the boys' mother, who's also battled drug abuse, filed for a restraining order in court, concerned about her children's well-being.
I'm a high priest Vatican assassin warlock. I'm Hipva, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Fucking stoned.
That's what I thought. Fucking brilliant. Covers it. Thank you.